Hello and welcome back to softtonic.com, where today we are going to be having a look at Mad Max. Now, I'm Alex and I'm kind of enjoying this game. It's an odd thing because the whole game it's an open world game set in obviously the kind of Australian wasteland that all of the movies are set in. The problem is that it just gets a little bit repetitive. Now, in fact, I'm going into a new area, so you're not going to see this quite so much. But if I bring up the map quickly, you see you'll come into areas of really dense icons. And that just slows you down because you feel like you've got to constantly stop and check things out, as I am about to do here. Now, at each of those icons, there might be something to do, but generally it really is just collecting things, which isn't that thrilling. That said, it looks fantastic and plays really well. It's just a shame that what you're doing isn't always as compelling as you would want. But we're going to have a quick drive around the desert, which is obviously a huge focus. I say desert there. They allude to the fact that it might actually be the seabed after they dried up. I don't remember that being a thing from the movies, but perhaps it was. They were always kind of deliberately vague about what had happened to the world to get it into this dystopian, shall we say, state. But much like the movies, Max is just a cipher for the viewer, the character, the player in this case. So he doesn't say that much, though a little bit more than the last movie. If you saw Tom Hardy's kind of very silent protagonist role. Ooh, missed something else to collect, and this happens a lot. Wherever you go, there's always something else to collect, which is fine. It just, because most of it's quite useful, because any item can be used to help you upgrade, you can find yourself just spending too much time looking for things rather than playing the game. At least that's what I find. We've got some fuel, that's handy, but that's also not the last item. One weird solution that I thought of for this, but this might kind of disrupt the upgrade progression of the game, would be to just give the mini map that shows you all the icons some kind of upgrade later in the games to help you start finding things then. Because as it stands, from the very beginning, I've been stopping myself enjoying the game. Tell me it's not food, because I don't need food. Was it food? Was that dog food? The last item? No, there's still something else here. Okay, we're going to give up. I will maybe come back and find that again another day. But as you see up in the top left there, we're off to Gash's stronghold. That's an alarm going off. That's fine. There we go. Okay. But the map there is full of stuff. There's the yellow icons, the collectibles. If you look at the bottom lower corner there, there's also the dotted red line, which means I'm on a convoy route. And convoy routes, as you'd expect, have cars on them that are part of convoys, which you can attack, or you can just, hopefully this is, oh no, that'll do it, I suppose. Oh, reverse. Great, now I've got him on me, and that's going to make this more awkward. So yeah, there is car combat in the game, which isn't going to go well this time unless I get real... Yeah, because I only saw the one of them, and that is silly because there's nearly always more than one. Although they do have a habit of getting out of their cars when you do enter into combat. Now the car combat's probably one of the more fun parts of the game, because it does get pretty furious. And this guy's just not stopping beating up on this other one. What I was hoping to do then, when I sillily tapped the wrong button, and ooh, there's more of them. Rather than, what was I trying to say? Rather than grappling them, I got out of the car, which was not the ideal. What I wanted to do was grapple the driver of the car. There, I just grappled the car. And then drag him out and drag him behind the car. Unfortunately, you've got to get the timing pretty good for that. But oh no, there we go. So that car is now out of commission. I could hop in it, which would mean that enemies wouldn't be able to tell that I was coming up on them. But we're not going to do that. We're going to head off after the lead car here. That ones from behind. Oh no, I got the driver there as well. This seems like a pretty weak convoy. I'm liking it. And the goal is to get the red boss one, basically. But I think I now have... Yep, I now have all of them. Now, it's a bit strange, because as you see there, it rotates around when I'm harpooned. So that can make it a little tricky to drive at points. If I get the door off there, and then once he's reloaded the harpoon, I might be able to grab the driver out. Oh. Of course, yeah. I have not yet completed one of those successfully, because every time I get close, as you could probably tell there, I end up in this kind of situation. Oh well. And I have to wait for Chum Bucket here, my mate, to repair the car. Every time I get close, somebody comes and takes me out because it just gets a little bit too busy. And my car certainly seems a little bit more survivable than the others, but I've still got a good chunk of upgrades here. Now, one thing to mention is that I am playing on the PS4. That's the code we got, unfortunately. But I have looked into the PC version, and there don't seem to be any problems with it. And even on this system, it looks really quite pretty. There's certainly no complaints about the visuals. It is just the amount of collectibles, the way that breaks the flow of the game, and just the repetitiveness of all the tasks, which again comes down to the collectibles. Anyway, let's follow this map marker to Gut Gash and show you what perhaps we're going to call the main element of the game is all about, which is taking over strongholds. Now, I say it's the main element of the game. It's because that's the only time that you're on foot really entering into anything more than just kind of mini tasks, subtasks. So this is really where you'll find yourself. Oh, is that one there? Enacting the majority of your playtime. Now, as you saw there, I have a harpoon. Now I'll need that when I'm trying to take over a tower, or not a stronghold. But I also need my sniper rifle, which is only usable from the car, but enables me to pick off perimeter defenses. Doesn't seem to be much there. We'll go to a more active one to ensure that I, from the outset, have the kind of upper hand in a struggle. I really do like the way it looks. Sometimes sandstorms will whip up and they just look stunning. I mean, I've always been a fan of empty spaces. So Red Dead is fantastic, as was Lonely Planet, actually. Which is an odd little callback, but the first couple of Dead Planet games were set in the kind of snowy tundra of a strangely ruined Earth. I loved that. I mean, it was just... It was somewhere very different, very foreign, but also quite exciting, because you do know what it's about. Now, that would be a race if I entered in there. So it's not that there are no tasks, it's just that I don't think there are quite enough variety, considering how dense they are in the world. I'd almost be happier with like some faster upgrade progression, which I will show you now, actually. Some faster upgrades would be a good trade-off. I mean, I wouldn't mind having everything being a bit faster and there being less in the world. So so you can upgrade Max, his fighting style, like what he wears on his hands, what he wears on his body. I can give him a big bushy beard if I want to, which we will for now. There's also the garage where you can upgrade, you can change the body, upgrade independent elements, or you can go for these more powerful cars that demand specific upgrades. So I'm 8 parts away from getting that, 6 parts away from getting that, and so on. And you're on a quest to really upgrade your car as much as possible. You start the game with your car stolen. Chum Bucket finds you and offers to build you this car. I guess in exchange for your kind of... Well, he worships cars, so I guess it's an excuse to build the best car possible and let you drive it, because he thinks you're a pretty good driver, which I am disproving right now by not being a very good driver at all. There's another kind of upgrade, which is kind of more spiritual. You're unlocking Max's inner powers, and that's actually gained through XP and completing microtasks in the world, like you saw a couple pop up maybe before, killing a certain number of enemies without using a weapon, just using the car, for example. Now this is actually a new area, so this is going to be high risk. I don't know how this is going to work out, but let's give it a shot. Let's have another couple of minutes. I think we're near the base. And hopefully I will spot the base before it spots me. Those are two slightly more powerful cars, so don't know how that's going to work out. But I mean, I've been driving for a while, and I'd say this is about third. Let's have a look. Let's zoom out. I came from about here. So let's say half the map across, but it's quite a lot higher than it is wide. So it's a large area. It is a large area. Yeah, you have all your stuff stolen from you, and basically you're just, as Max does, his motivations are not incredibly well outlined. He wants to get somewhere to find peace. That is about as much as we know. Inner peace, not. I mean, that he's not going to find peace in this world. Oh, tell me this is a mission. I'm driving out here. Don't tell me it's all going to be friendly, happy clappy place. Oh no, it is. So much for the stronghold mission. Now the stronghold missions, very similar to the hand-to-hand combat you saw before, and the grappling hook. You can take out snipers. That's helpful. And then you need the grappling hook to pull away defenses like gates and sometimes oil tanks before you move on to the next stage, which is just going in, fighting people, and fulfilling the tasks, which are ripping things up. This is Gut Gash. Oh, I've never met before. But we will skip past it. Because we don't want to ruin the story for you, do we? No. I'm sure you agree. I don't know, because obviously you're not answering me. Here we go. And seemingly we now have a base of operations in Gut Gash's territory. Which is nice. Always good to have more friends. Okay. You need welding stuff to work. That's fine. But really... this is another one of my complaints. Whenever you enter an area like this... there's a kind of fade and it comes in. It really takes you out of being Max. Now, while being Max was never a huge focus, it does feel a little bit... it makes it feel a little bit disjointed, especially with all the collection stuff you're doing, which is an issue. Water storage. And again, you need to go out and collect parts to upgrade the camp to improve your chances in the wasteland. Now, I think anything else we do is just going to reveal more of the story as it's developing. So we won't. This is a fun game that's kind of probably going to be... It's a fun open world game that is probably going to be damaged simply due to the fact that it's come out the same week as Metal Gear Solid. And that is a game that offers you a lot of variety. And this doesn't. I mean, while you do have to break into the camps, and they claim that you're given freedom in how you'd handle that, it always seems to be the same formula. That I haven't run up to a camp that's like a puzzle. It's always rip some stuff off, beat some guys down, collect some things, get out. And that's basically the whole game. Some people, there are a good range of enemies, some have shields. It's Batman combat, as you were seeing, with the little triangles popping up, and the more weapons they get, the more kind of complex that gets. So you're kind of ducking backwards out of the way of their blows, rolling out of the way. But good fun, certainly worth a shot. But I think Metal Gear is probably going to be most people's first choice, and I wouldn't blame you for that. Okay, that's it for this time. I'll be back soon with some more games. Have a good day.